Once you begin to realize and really understand that your main relationship, your marriage possibly, was with a narcissist, then one question that's gonna pop into your mind really pretty soon is, well, why did the narcissist choose me? That made me attractive to them, or signaled that I was easy prey, or signaled that I was something that could be mishandled and sucked dry. So take a quick moment to like, to subscribe. I've enjoyed getting comments and hearing from you guys out there what your experiences are like. When years of your life have been spent being closer to a narcissist than anyone else, then you already are often questioning your value, your observations, your experiences, and your sanity. So then to finally hear this word narcissist and understand what that is, then yeah, you're gonna start examining yourself just as much as them. What's wrong with me? And how did I get myself into this mess? And am I doomed to just get into messes like this in the future? So I've endured narcissistic abuse, and here are my thoughts. My partner, my husband, ex-husband, his narcissistic journey was kind of going along like this for years, and then it exploded and he collapsed. It was all very sudden after 16 years. I have some other videos that cover that. About a month into his explosion and his collapse, as I was trying to figure out what is going on, thoughts came up maybe that he was bipolar, undiagnosed and untreated, and he was perhaps having a manic or a hypomanic episode, period, and that was explaining his really unregulated, destructive, unprecedented, immoral behavior. And so I was consulting with a therapist who knew me, and this therapist said, well, you know, William, you're very in touch with your feelings and your emotions and expressing them, and Mark probably very early on noticed that and was intrigued by that and comforted by that. And then months later, as bipolar doesn't quite seem like it's the right fit and narcissism gets brought to my attention, one of the early things I see is this like classic trope, this classic love story of the narcissist and the empath and how they are often drawn towards each other. On the day that my ex-husband Mark says he wants to get a divorce and there's nothing to talk about and he kind of really starts falling apart, he says to me, William, you've always known who you are. You know what you believe, what you feel, what you like, what you don't like, and I've just never been that way, Mark said. And that was a little bit weird to me that he was saying that, because in my head I'm thinking, Mark, you know who you are. You're this nerd who was always succeeding and great at school and worked at a zoo and started this company and that company and have all the success, and you watch your nerdy superhero shows. Like, you know who you are. Understanding now narcissists in a way that I didn't on that morning, it makes sense that Mark would have felt unsecure, unstable in himself and his thoughts and his character, and maybe would have noticed or been struck by me, who had a more traditional sense of themselves. I mean, I don't know that I have a off the charts amazing sense of myself, but perhaps in comparison to a narcissist who lives with me day after day for 16 years, yeah, maybe there was a certain ease or settled comfort that I had that was comforting to him, and then over time frustrating, and something that made him envious, and something that made him feel worse about himself and more spiteful towards me. Empaths, care about other people's feelings. They can sense other people's feelings. They have this desire to support and improve other people's uncomfortable feelings. Sometimes, and I think too often really, narcissists get talked about like they are extraterrestrials, like they are inhuman demons or vampires. They will use you and misuse you and abuse you in unfathomable ways, but they are people. They do have souls, they do have hearts, they do have feelings. Narcissists and non-narcissists alike yearn for a lot of the same things. Both narcissists and non-narcissists want to be accepted, want to feel safe, want to be loved, and want to love, and want to enjoy themselves, and want to laugh, and want to kiss and make out, and live life. So if a narcissist is drawn to you, or to someone who could be described as an empath, or to someone who is quite in touch with their emotions and quite in touch with themselves, is a narcissist especially attracted to that? Yeah, maybe, but who wouldn't be attracted to that? Non-narcissists are attracted to that. We all want to be around friendly, kind, supportive, soothing people. So if you feel like you have any of those traits and you feel like it made you a magnet for narcissists, that's ridiculous. I do think narcissists have uncanny gifts of manipulation and causing confusion, but I don't think narcissists have superpowers, and I don't think they walk through the world with this ability to say, oh, there's the next love of my life that I can feed off of and ultimately destroy. In some ways, narcissists are like a dog or something. A dog is just thinking about now. Where am I gonna get my next little treat? What food am I eating now? What cat is out the window that I can bark at? Like, a dog just lives in the present. And I don't think when Mark met me when I was 27 and he was 25, it was the year 2003, that he was like this little wolf in Little Red Riding Hood. Oh yeah, here's William. I'm gonna make him believe me. I'm gonna love bomb him. I'm gonna make him feel safe. And then I'm gonna destroy everything we had, and destroy him, and start over, and leave him as carrion in the road to make me feel better about myself. I think narcissists, even just from the pressure of society, want to be successful with their relationships and their marriages. They, choose this person, it feels good, it's working well. They would want that to continue and get married, have kids, and have it all be considered a success. They want that. They just cannot navigate that or succeed at that. The closer they get to their partner, the closer they get to the spouse, all the intimacy that's created, all the vulnerability that's created is not something a narcissist can take. And that triggers their tricks, their mean little tricks, which really are coping mechanisms. They cannot deal with their concept of self. And so they find comfort and they find control in being abusive or being passive aggressive or being sullen or being pouty or giving you the silent treatment. Sometimes a narcissist ends up with a narcissist. Sometimes a narcissist ends up with someone whose emotional intelligence is just kind of average or moderate. And I guess oftentimes a narcissist ends up with someone who has a stable enough sense of self and a calm enough soul and center that they can withstand the narcissist's mistreatment for longer than maybe other people could. I suppose that's as much a blessing as it is a curse. So it's a perfectly natural question that we ask ourselves. Why did the narcissist pick me? My take is, why not you? It could have been anyone, and it was you. It just happened. But I don't think it's really valuable to go back and beat yourself up for why did the narcissist pick me and why did I pick them? You picked them because in the beginning there was enough good stuff there that of course you would pick them. And over time, whether it took 2 weeks or 2 months or 2 decades, the narcissist practiced the skill of beginning to abuse you just enough so that you could feel it, but not enough so that you would leave. That is their uncanny superpower. But you don't need to beat yourself up for that. Okay, pay attention, because this is the question that I think is much more helpful to us as people who've endured, escaped, and are trying to survive and rebuild after narcissistic abuse. The question isn't, why did the narcissist pick me? The more helpful question is, could a narcissist pick me now? If another narcissist came my way and caught my eye, and I caught his eye, would I fall into a similar pattern? Would I be ripe for the same sort of mistreatment as I was before? And I have answers to these questions, and the answers, all of them, are no. No. My threshold, my tolerance for silent treatments, for eye rolling, for actions that don't align with words, with moods and outbursts that are unjustified, unexplainable, and unstoppable. My tolerance for all that stuff is like 0. 0, let's bring it down further. -10. No, I'm not doing that anymore. I don't need perfection from a partner, but I'm not gonna spend another 16 years of my life, or really even 16 hours, wondering, does this person like me or do they not like me? Do they value me being in their life, or am I a damn burden in their life? I've had to ask questions like that too much for too long, and I'm not gonna do it anymore. I think one of the things we start to learn once we get deep into these narcissistic relationships is that love can be confusing. Love can be mysterious. It can be inconsistent. It can be something we just have to put our faith in, like the Easter Bunny, because actions and words and moods aren't quite forming the picture of what love used to look like, or we want it to look like, or we thought it should look like, or it looked like in a past relationship. So yeah, I've learned to be much more binary with how I evaluate people in my life and how they make me feel. Either you make it clear that you appreciate me, or you don't. And if it's not clear, I'm not gonna give you 5 chances. I'm not gonna keep asking you to make it clear. I'm not gonna find whatever love language I need or you're good at to make it clear. It's either clear or it's not. And if it's not clear, leave. I deserve that clarity. You deserve that clarity. We all deserve that clarity. So now that I've rambled on about my 2 cents on this topic, I'm curious to hear how you maybe have been looking at this question of why did the narcissist pick me? And I'm curious to hear what new thoughts or ideas you might have about that question now for yourself. So I'll meet up with you in a future video. There's a lot to dissect once you've been through narcissistic abuse. Ain't that the truth?